I'm at Paradise Point at the moment in lockdown. It's not a bad place to be. The boat's anchored just here in about 3 meters of water at low tide. Coming on round. Beside the bridge is the toilet block, and a good place to chain your dinghy up against the rail. The great thing about the water between the two bridges here at Paradise Point is that it's a 6-knot zone. Over here is Sovereign Island. And the boat over there, the big boat with the house, is called Cloud 9. I'm starting off from Paradise Point between Epron Island and Sovereign Island. I think it's a great place to come for a holiday here and walk north to a lovely coffee shop. Anyway, sad that I'm leaving here. My wife's having to go back to school tomorrow, so I'm heading off north. This is where I'm sailing from, and the weather looks reasonably good over the next week. I might be able to get up to Double Island Point. Looking down, you can see all the boats anchored here. You're only allowed to do 6 knots through here, and it's quite heavily policed by the water police, so most people actually comply. On the way out, there's a very nice Tuscan house with some Italian made good, and then next door, that looks like a Chinese house to me. Coming round Sovereign Island now, and the broad water is opening up. There's a boat over there on the sandbank. He's been there about a week. I think he's drifted from somewhere. Yeah, that one on the sandbank looks quite a nice boat. It's 24 hours since we left Paradise Point. Last night I was motoring down through the broad water, trying to get to Horizon Shores before 5 o'clock to get some diesel. But I ended up there basically at about 5 o'clock outside the marina, and by the time I'd have faffed around and got ready to take some diesel on board, it'd been 5:30 and the girls would have gone home by then. So I anchored outside, had a cold night under the bed sheets, but I listened to Ash Barty winning Wimbledon, so well done Ash. Where we are at the moment is behind on the beam. On either side is Cleveland on one side, and Peel on the other. There's Cleveland over there. You can always tell by the lone tree on the headland. Peel Island, and a nice boat there coming down towards me. The sun's just setting. The sun's just set. Forgot to press the button. And Scarborough is right on the bow. We're going along at about 4 knots, and at the moment it's quite pleasant. Last night it was bitterly cold because there's a westerly wind, but it's a southerly now, and it's quite pleasant. Over there's the container port and the city, and there's a ship coming out. So I'll probably have to stand to for a minute or two till it goes by. Here we are, here's the shipping lane where my finger is. And we're going over to here, which is Scarborough. I want to be pointing up a bit more over here, to be honest. There's a buoy over there, a red buoy we've got to go around. A rough night really. We're coming towards Double Island Point. We're about 3 hours off. It's drizzling and it's blowing about, I'd say it's blowing 20 knots at least. Anyway, I'm going to have to put a reef in the main. I've been waiting all night. Should have put one in last night, but it was not blowing at all when I went past Malula Bar, but it's picked up now. That's what it looks like behind, and a bit of rain's coming. That's the shore over there. Basically in there is Noosa, somewhere that way. That's Noosa back there, to be honest, where those rain is. I don't know how much rain I've got on the screen, on camera now, but somewhere up there is Double Island Point. Yeah, it's last year I was up in the Whitsundays by now. It's bloody cold. It's not that cold actually, it's a southeasterly wind. When it's a westerly, it's really bitterly cold. It's just drizzling a bit. I'm blowing about 20 knots. Maybe a little bit more. But I don't like to exaggerate. Just show you a little bit over the back. Hope we lift. There you go. And another one. Pretty big swells actually. I wouldn't be wanting to go over the bar today. Looking up front where we're meant to be going, and here we are on the screen here. I don't know what you can see there, but got to go to that little square, first one. Got a rainbow over here. Should be able to see Double Island Point there on the underneath the sail. haven't got the glasses on, but I think it's an hour 42 away. Double Island Point at 2.5 miles off. Yeah, it's a bit miserable here, but behind us the sun's coming out, so hopefully in an hour we shall be in sunshine. I'm rounding Double Island Point, and you can see it over my shoulder there. It's really breaking at the moment on the rocks. Luckily that wave broke over, missed me. Can't film for long. This is the lagoon. A few boats here just outside the lagoon. There's one big one in there, and then there's quite a few catamarans. Just going to pull my keel up a bit now, so I can just draw a metre of water. I've just got up, and anyway, everybody seems to have left and making a run for the bar, so I seem to be the last one, since it's 9 o'clock and high tide's 10. It takes you an hour to get there. Anyway, I'm going to give it a go, try and go through today. Here's a few just anchored off the front. To the sun, there's about 4 left. This morning there was 16 boats in here. Looking back at Double Island Point and the lagoon, yeah, we're nearly halfway now across to the waypoint 1. That's Rainbow Beach in there. And looking ahead, there's quite a few gaggle of boats have already gone through. I'm the last, to be honest. I was a bit late out of bed and I wasn't thinking of coming. And then I looked at the weather forecast, and today's the day really, otherwise maybe tomorrow morning would be maybe. And so I decided I'm going to come today. Heading towards Wide Bay Bar. Well, we're coming up on waypoint 1 to do the Mad Mile in. I'm a bit late, most of them have got in. I've got one old fella behind me trying to get here, and I've got a catamaran who's come in just before me. He's turned and he's on his way. I still haven't turned yet. don't know what it's called. It's obviously fish something, and they're waving. Very nice. Looks like it's just come out of the mould. The bar's as tame as I've ever seen it. And we're basically in now. We're in 5.9 of water here, and it looks pretty good. That's the entrance between Imskip Point and Fraser Island. Bit of a sandbank over here on this side here. We should be over further to get on the waypoints that they gave you, but it's plain obvious, you know, we're in 13 meters of water here, that you're not going to come to any harm. Coming on round, I'm just going to point straight at Rainbow Beach over there. And there's Double Island Point and the lagoon we came from. I'd just like to thank Dave or Macca from Osmax for helping me with my ramp. He did a very good job of servicing it. Got me back on the road again, making tracks. Made it through the bar for another year. That was the easiest bar crossing I've done. I was a bit worried because yesterday the swell waves were really big, but obviously they've calmed over the night. I'm creeping down the Fraser side of the entrance. I think I've got the tide against me just about now, actually. So I'll keep very close into the sand here in about 2 meters, 2.5 meters of water, and make my way round the corner. I'm going to go to Gary's, but I'll probably anchor before then because the tide will be fairly strong, and I don't want to motor all the way to Gary's. Could afford to save the go juice for later on. I put the anchor down about a couple of miles up from Imskip Point. I'm only in about 2.5 meters of water, if that, I think. A guy came by me and he was going to anchor the other side of me. He said, "Oh, there's no water here." I said, "I know." Oh. And this is, the people are walking on the beach. And it's quite nice here. I'll be bug free tonight. I'm far enough off that I'm bug free. And there's a sand spit that goes all the way out to behind me, and around that point over there is you're about halfway to Gary's anchorage. There's a bit of an island behind, and that's the island basically where Gary's anchorage is. Looking right behind, the sun's about to set. And when it does, I'm going to have a glass of wine. And you're welcome to come along for the ride. Cheers, everybody has shouted me a beer in the past. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated.